Welcome back to my channel, artists. Today we'll be making mask costume designs. Step number 1, color a design. So for my coloring, I started with Sharpie marker to create a pattern. I like the idea of starting at the eye and kind of working my way out. The cool thing is if you use a Sharpie, you can actually color over top of it with regular markers and not have to worry about the colors mixing together. It kind of is up to you. Use your own creative ideas, whether you want your mask to look like a real person or character from a story, or whether you want your mask to just be a fun and bold patterns. It's up to you. Just make sure that you enjoy the mask design that you are making. Great art supplies for these masks include Sharpie and Sharpie and regular markers. I would not recommend crayons for these because they're a little bit slippery and it's a little bit harder to color in some slippery surfaces with crayons. As you are coloring with markers, just be aware that it does take a little bit extra time to dry, kind of like a poster board. So try not to put your fingers on the part that you have touched until it is dry or no longer shiny. Have skipped ahead and now I am actually finished with my coloring and I am ready for step number 2, to glue details. You have lots of choices for how you might want to glue your details. The first choice that I did was I wanted to start with glitter. So I am putting a glue line exactly where I want my glitter to be. When you add glitter, you want to make sure that you put glue exactly where you want it to be because glitter will stick wherever you have glue. In the classroom, you will see that tub with the gold glitter and folded paper inside. You need to open that paper up and put your mask on top. If you don't follow these directions, you can't use glitter in the classroom. Then I'm going to sprinkle my glitter over top of the entire mask and pick up my mask, kind of shaking off the glitter, keeping it on the paper. Don't make a mess in the classroom and lose the glitter for other people. Then I'm going to kind of bend that paper and the glitter should slide down that bend back into the container. This keeps our glitter from making a mess all over the classroom. Now I think I'm going to add a little bit more glue details and I'm going to take a piece of construction paper. I wanted my shape to be the same on both sides of my mask, so I actually used a folded piece of paper and I cut through both sides so that I have two identical shapes. Whatever shapes you want to use for cutting and gluing is your choice. Now that I have got my shapes glued to the edge of my mask, it is all finished. I hope that you have enjoyed making costume design masks with us today. What will you create?